Hi everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is an MBTI romantic compatibility analysis between INFJs and ENTJs. I think most people have heard about the number of sayings that, for example, that any personality type that is well developed can be a good match with any other personality type, or that opposites attract. Based on my observations, I would say that these two ideas are probably not true. So let's dive into the compatibility between INFJs and ENTJs. So in terms of what they have in common is that obviously they're both intuitives. So it means that they have slow dominant brainwaves. When it comes to the INFJ, it is theta. So in terms of if you look at the cycles per second, it is 5 cycles per second or slower. And when it comes to the ENTJ, their brainwave dominance is slow alpha, so it's around 7 cycles per second, and that would be reflecting their resting breathing as well. So the INFJ breathes 5 times a minute or less, and the ENTJ breathes about 7 times per minute. So it's obviously related to their brain dominance, brain wave dominance. Because both have slow dominant brain waves, it means that they're going to be looking at the world in a similar way. So they are looking for a deeper truth that you cannot perceive with the 5 senses. The other aspect is that since they're both judges, it means that they're going to be working well in terms of logistics. So these are people who are good at following through in terms of their projects. They're the type of people who are reliable, reachable, so they won't have issues in terms of being able to get things done in a day-to-day life. The other point of compatibility is that the ENTJ is very left brain dominant, so very logical, and the INFJ, although is very right brain dominant, has the most balanced brain of all the personality types, but also is the most logical of all the intuitive feelers. So it means that when they talk, they will understand each other logically. So the ENTJ won't feel that the INFJ is too wishy-washy. They'll feel, okay, this person is on the same wavelength. So the combination of someone who is practical, who follows through and also understands him or her logically is going to be a big plus for the ENTJ. The other point also is that they're both strong-willed. So these are people who are not really influenced by mass opinion. So they will have a respect for each other. You can tell with the ENTJ that, okay, this person is going to follow through and has a mind of his or her own. Same thing with the INFJ. So there's going to be the sense of, okay, this person is solid. The other aspect also is that they're going to be interested in a number of different topics. So they're going to have a lot of topics of discussion. So they're going to be talking about, let's say, politics, or even in terms of religion, spirituality, and so forth. Because people understand is that even though the ENTJ is left brain dominant, but surprisingly is that you'll see that this personality type is not often atheist. Like, it's very interesting is that I find that people who are, let's say, have introvert intuition are rarely atheists. So they usually feel that there's something beyond the physical that is holding all this world together. So the INFJ will be able to discuss these type of topics because as an intuitive feeler, they tend to be very spiritual. So that's another interesting part. And also in terms of their humor, I think that because of the fact they're usually both have high IQs, they will understand the other person's point of view. And obviously when it comes to humor, it has to do with the contrast between what appears to be and what is. And because of the fact they're both very intuitive, they will understand each other at that level. But the issue is that the ENTJ being very left brain dominant means that the INFJ, who needs a lot of affection and attention, I mean, they don't have the same relationship style. The INFJ has a feminine, orderly type, so they want to connect. They will need to talk to their partners on a regular basis. They're very physically affectionate. So there's a whole world when it comes to the romantic aspect that the ENTJ may not be able to fulfill, because when you look at the ENTJ's function stack, is that yes, the first function is extrovert thinking, and the second function is introvert intuition, which means that the INTJ is very left brain dominant. He will not understand the emotional context of a situation. So the INFJ will feel shortchanged. And interesting enough is that the INTJ will be very much attracted to the INFJ because of the very feminine energy, but it's not the same way, the other way around. So the INFJ will not feel romantically attracted to the INTJ because of the fact that the whole emotional aspect is not being fulfilled. So you'll see a situation where the ENTJ will try to pursue the INFJ, and the INFJ will sort of keep his or her distance. So so it's a sort of interesting scenario. I think that they would work well. Let's say if it's a work environment, they work on a project, but in terms of long-term fulfillment both ways, it's not going to happen, especially on the INFJ. And obviously the INTJ will feel that he's not meeting the expectations of the INTJ, so that could create over time a sense of insecurity that, okay, I am not able to fulfill my mate. To summarize, the INFJs and the ENTJs would not be a good match romantically, but they would fare well, let's say, if they were in a work situation, they had to, let's say, work on a project. I think they would do really well because they're both usually highly intelligent. These are people who are hardworking. They're the type of people who are strong-willed, organized, so they'll see this strength in each other, and they'll probably have quite a bit of respect. But what happens is that when it comes to their relationship style is that the INFJ is the feminine orderly, whereas the ENTJ is the masculine orderly. The INFJ really needs someone who's highly emotionally intelligent, someone who's very affectionate, someone that they can really bond well emotionally, spiritually, and the ENTJ will not be able to do that. I mean, the ENTJ probably will be very attracted in the INFJ, but it won't be the same the other way around. So let me know if you agree or disagree with this romantic compatibility analysis of INFJs with ENTJs by commenting below. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.